Welcome to Let It Happen, the leadership conversation, where leadership is examined, not explained. This is a space for leaders who understand that change doesn't fail because of strategy. It fails of how we show up inside. Each episode is anchored in a chapter of the book Let It Happen. Not to repeat it, but to examine what it asks of us. I'm Mau Espinosa, leadership provocator and author of Let It Happen. I'm joined by Joseph Bartosik, leadership coach and practitioner, focused on emerging leaders and the next generation of leadership. Joseph brings the lens of becoming, the questions, the tensions, the aspirations of leaders early in their journey. Welcome. Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to Leadership Conversations. Here with Joseph Bartosik, talking about resilience today. A topic that sometimes we get a little bit confused on it, or we use the term too lightly. We go from resilience to resistance, or when adversity comes and knocks us on the door, sometimes strong, like on the book we talk about COVID and how that happened, and how we became resilient on it. But there's also many other type of adversities that come and hit us, and how are we responding to that? That's our conversation today. What resilience is doing, or what resistance is creating for ourselves. A little bit of self-awareness and how we react to that. And well, without further ado, let's start with this. Joseph, welcome.
Thank you for having me again.
Here we go, resilience.
Yes.
Big topic, or is it?
I think it's pretty big. I think it's pretty important that we learn the differences between resilience and resistance, especially when it comes to leadership.
We see, again, we work with people. We recently were working with a group down in Mexico, which was an amazing experience.
Oh, yes.
And I think we got a little bit of resistance from ourselves during that program, or going into the program, and then that resistance is very interesting when we talk about resistance and resilience, because I think for me now it's very easy to know if I'm resistant or I'm bouncing back. And when I'm resisting, I'm starting to feel tired. Is there a relationship? Is there a reason why is that happening?
I think so. I think when we are resisting, what stands out when you use the term resistance is it's this terminology of fighting back or fighting against something.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of energy when you're trying to fight something against happening, as opposed to resilience.
Yeah. So resilience is when there's the adversity and we bounce back, right? And we're learning, and it feels like there is some kind of growth. And the resistance, which is very interesting, like I think in many things in our lives, when we are hit by adversity, whether it is in a company that we're having the same problem and the same meetings, and you go back to the office and it's the same over and over. But it seems like there's not a lot, it seems like it's not a big issue. It seems like it's something small, so everybody kind of don't look at it.
Yeah.
Or you feel like, oh, well, somebody will take care of it. Or this is not a big deal. But then you start adding little things by little, and then we have a big problem.
Yes.
And it starts with people, and it finishes with people, right? Because all these scenarios, the company doesn't create them itself, right? The company does not create that.
No.
They start with somebody at some point doing something, and I think this is the kicker here. And it's probably just me, Joseph. I just don't think people go to work to do something wrong on purpose.
No.
I just think something is done wrong for whatever reason, and nobody noticed the first time. And then it comes the second time. And then probably sometimes it becomes a habit. Why do you do this way? and everybody's like, well, that's the way it's supposed to be done. And is it? Or is it that's the way it's being done all the time, but nobody knows it's being done wrong, and then we're resisting change, and we're resisting to create it different because that's the way we've always done it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very good point. When does simply, because if I do something wrong, and I'm in charge of teaching someone doing something wrong,
Yeah.
but it's what's worked for me, I'm going to teach them what's worked for me. And then all of a sudden they're doing what I'm doing, and then all of a sudden it's this huge train of people doing it the wrong way I've been doing it simply because it worked for me. And that can lead to some very poor things happening, especially in companies and in life.
Yeah. Let's talk about life a little bit, because I think in companies sometimes it's easier to see them, because it can be happening in a meeting room, it can be happening on the floor as we are operating, doing whatever we do, whether it's a car dealership or a factory or a gym or whatever. There's always a place where things happen, right? And where things are happening, sometimes like even clients sometimes turn around and look like, that's strange, but okay.
But okay.
It might work for them. And the thing is that we hear today there's a lot of burnout, and
Yes.
I want to get into that. But let's go back first with our normal day. Are people getting tired? Are people getting burned out? And if they are, is it because of resistance to something? Is it because they are not stopping for a little while and do a little self-awareness of what's happening? Is there an adaptability issue or a lack of purpose? What do you think?
I think you hit one of the points in your recent article, and it was not meeting resilience with endurance.
Okay.
And I think that's really important, because sometimes we believe that meeting things with endurance, as long as I can keep lasting this, as long as I can keep doing this over and over again, I'll be okay. And that never works. I mean, you think about your day. Let's say you just kind of have like a bad day going on. You wake up late for work, you don't get your coffee, you have a bad lunch for whatever reason, and work is just kind of sucky today. And you're able to bounce back from all of this. You're able to be like, okay, that's whatever, I'll keep going. Oh, that's whatever, I'll keep going. That's whatever, I'll keep going. And then I feel like everyone experiences this at the end of the day. You're finally home, the day's over, you can finally relax, and then you either drop your keys and you try to pick them up and you can't pick them on what, so you try to do it again and you can't do it, and then you do it a third time and then they slip again and you lose your cool and you start yelling and you start screaming and you're absolutely just angry, or you stub your toe and you're just angry, and it's that little cherry on top that pushes us over our limit of what we can take for the day. And it's because all we did all day was take everything that went wrong, put it in a little box and compact it down. In a little box and push it down, 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 down until it explodes. And that never works for anybody. And sometimes it's just one day, sometimes it's over a week, and sometimes it's over a whole lifespan of not having the awareness or the capability to go through and process what's happening. And so we just push it down because we don't have the assets that we need in order to take care of it. And that is what leads to burnout.
Yeah. You know where I see it all the time? Every week, airports.
Airports? Yeah.
You know, I spend a lot of time in airports. And these days, it's just, you see it all the time. And you see these families that are, going on family vacation, which you think, oh, that's a great thing. Everybody should be happy. But you see the stress on the father or the mother or the kids or all the family. Usually you see it more in one of the group. I don't care who it is. Usually one of the group is carrying the stress the most. And I think that person is the one that is resisting the idea that nothing is going to go perfect that day.
Yes.
Because that will be another part, right? Expectations. Is resistance has to do with expectations.
Yes, yes. There's, I mean, we resist things every day, and we aren't always aware of it, but we do resist things, and it's those little changes that we're trying to fight of. I had this plan for today, and it's not going this way, but I still want it to go this way. It's like, you gotta stop resisting it. It's not gonna happen.
Because that creates that burnout, right? Because and especially the burnout in companies or in life is probably not the big moments when you explode.
Mm-hmm.
Is the accumulation of things through a period of time. When it comes the day that what you say, like it can be a very simple thing that you just break down. People start crying, and you're like, "What happened?
Yeah.
We were having a good conversation, and all of a sudden, like, what happened, Joseph?" Right? And it's that burnout that comes out. And it's because on a daily basis, I think we lose track of the purpose of why we do things and where are we going.
Mm-hmm.
Or in many cases, we don't have a purpose.
Yeah.
We're just waking up and living. And it seems like the purpose is to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that should be our purpose.
No. And I was having a great conversation with one of my friends just this morning, and we were talking about it just the other week of the difference of putting our purpose and matching it with our responsibilities, and how if we rely on our purpose being what we're responsible for, we really have no purpose. I mean, for just like basic example, you look at people in getting ready for retirement.
Yes.
People who are scared of retiring because they're like, I don't know what I'm going to do without this job.
Yes.
And this has been my purpose. What am I going to do? And it's because of that they put all their purpose into the responsibility of work. And without that, they have nothing. So they have no purpose. And that's the big fear.
Yes. So this is a great topic. When we confuse responsibility with purpose,
Mm-hmm.
whether we confuse what I need to get done with the why I need to get it done, right?
Yeah.
While in those cases, the purpose is probably retirement and having a nice life once you retire, and you've been thinking about this for a while, or what you're going to do and how you're going to get your time. And that can be a different type of job. That can be more time for your own. I mean, there can be many ideas of when people retire. I'm already thinking about that when I'm getting closer. But on the other side, responsibility. I get things done, I'm perfect. You are a very responsible person. You're getting what you're working for. But it comes a moment that lack of purpose can also create a burnout of doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I agree, and I can see that. And I think, I won't speak for everyone, but I know I personally have suffered from it, of not knowing where I'm going to go and simply falling into routine, into cycle. And I think not a lot of people realize that that is just kind of a very depressive state of what you fall into when you have no purpose, you have no why to do something, and you just follow into routine. When you fall into routine, that is when life becomes less, you know?
Yes. And there's no more that we can say on that one. I mean, it becomes less. Purpose, your why, and then there are goals and there are vision and there are objectives and there's all these other little things that go around that one, which can create a very nice life plan or critical route or however you want to frame it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, we need to have a why. We need to have a purpose. We need to have a vision or of where we want to be or why we want to be there, right? And all that has to do also with adaptability. How fast are we adapting to things? Because there's one thing for sure. Nothing is going to go the way you want it to go.
No, unfortunately not.
it can go on a similar idea, on a similar pattern, but it's not gonna go exactly the way we plan things.
No.
So why do we have why do create a plan if it's not gonna go, if nothing is gonna go according to plan?
Well, I think there's a little complication in there. I definitely feel like you should have a good idea of how to get to somewhere or where you want to go.
Uh-huh.
Now, necessarily, are you going to hit some bumps in the road? 100%. percent Things are going to change, but we have to be adaptable to that. We have to still be able to see our end goal in sight. So I still know I want to get here. Am I going to get here the same way? Probably not, but I'm sure as heck going to get here. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to go. And whether this is the end goal or this is just the next step, and that's here and here and here, there's going to be bumps, but you have to have this clear sight of this is where I want to be right now. I'm going to work to get there.
So what keeps you motivated?
Well, there's several things that keep me motivated throughout getting to things. I guess it depends on whether the scale of what I look at it. For the day, I typically, when I'm waking up to get to work, what's keeping me motivated is that after work, I get to go to the gym. And then after the gym, I know I have this huge rush of energy, and I can get so much done, and I'm excited to cook my dinner, excited to clean and relax in my own home. And so it's those small things that motivate me throughout the day.
And what keeps you motivated towards your purpose, towards your vision? Because, okay, so that keeps you motivated through the day to get things done, right? Is I go to work, I do this, I do that. But we're talking about all this road that is not going to be perfect. That we need to be adaptable. That we decided, like, okay, I'm going to start working on this line. I'm going to be, I don't know, studying this or researching this. I'm probably talking to these people. But all of a sudden, things happen in the world where you cannot travel to this place to get the knowledge that you were seeking, or you cannot accomplish this task because gas price went high, or etc. All these things that probably we didn't have on the variable when we were creating a plan, business or personal. And yet you see people extremely adaptable to do things different. It's like every obstacle they put in front of them, it's almost like a game that they're starting to enjoy. I don't know if you see that. I mean, I see in some of the people that I get the pleasure to coach, that they go and instead of coming like, because I remember this, they will come like, it's just so difficult today. They come and go like, well, here we go. We have another one, and I think this is the way we're going to do it. I'm going to come see it this way, and I'm going to bounce back from this one this way. On those situations, when you start seeing people start getting more adaptable, starting to be more creative, and I think that's a word that we're looking for, they see their obstacles in a different way. Is it because of the purpose, or what is it?
So I think it's very important to very deeply and meaningful visualize what your purpose is, whether it's a feeling you want at the end of a period of time, or whether it's a physical, intimate thing you can interact with. But I also believe in the second part of why there's a big difference of those people who can get past all these obstacles and are very adaptable towards things that come into their life and get in the way and make things a little bit harder, is enjoying the process. Finding a way to enjoy the journey. Because I heard this from somebody like a year ago. They said the person who enjoys walking is going to walk farther than the person who enjoys the end goal, whatever it is. And I think about that because I can visualize, like, let's say I'm on this hike and there's this beautiful view at the end of the hike, but I don't like hiking. I'm gonna hike a little bit. I'm not really gonna have a fun time. There might be some weather, there might be whatever gets in the way. But my chances of quitting and ending the hike wherever I am, simply because I'm not enjoying what I'm going through, I'm not enjoying the process, or I'm not finding a way to find good in the process of getting there. Whereas the person who just loves the hike for the hike, they're already going to be at the top. They're going to look at the view and be like, wow, this is a great view. That's awesome. I had a great hike and I had a great view. This is awesome. And meanwhile, I'm somewhere down in the ditches like, God, stupid rocks, stupid trees. Complaining won't get us anywhere. We have to find ways to enjoy the process of getting somewhere.
That's very interesting, because even when you hear the stories, like if let's say that you and I go hiking, and you're the one that enjoyed the walk and the hike, and I just want to get to the lake or to the view, whatever it is. If I tell the story of that hike, I'm probably gonna say like, you know what, at the end it was worth it. Just get there and see what I saw, and but that was it, man. Then having to walk back, it was another chore. And my story is gonna be more on the difficulties, the adversities, the struggles, while the same hike at the same time, side by side, your story of that experience is gonna be completely the opposite. It's gonna be like, oh man, we saw some rocks that we had to climb differently, and we went around, and it's gonna be like a very exciting story.
Yeah, the energy, the behavior, the attitude we take into the process of things affects drastically how things will turn out. So if I approach something negatively, chances are it's going to be a negative experience.
But think of this as a tool, and we have used it in the past. If I'm working with someone that we want to create self-awareness, you know, because it's a great tool, self-awareness, especially for resilience, which is the topic. If I tell that person, tell me the story, when I hear the person, I'm gonna hear either the struggles, the obstacles, the why nots, the questioning, the purpose, like I still don't even know why I'm doing this. While we can have the conversation with somebody else and he's telling us everything that they're enjoying, and yet they're not achieving their purpose. And it's probably, it may be the same stories, while one needs clarity to keep going, because probably the purpose is a little fuzzy, while the other one, the purpose has no power. It's a great idea, but it doesn't have the emotional power, and that's why we're looking at all the obstacles, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Joseph. So I think one of the biggest things that we see today, or I see today, on resilience and purpose that we're talking, is how easy it can be that we confuse goals with purpose.
Yes.
It's like we have this road and we go into some place and we're achieving those. And I'm gonna make an example. You were talking about hiking. And we were talking about that we can have different stories on that hiking. At the end of the day, there is a purpose also why we did the hiking.
Yes.
And every person has their own purpose, their own reason, their own why. And let's say on that one, I was trying to have a conversation with the person that I was doing, whether it was with my partner, with my son, with a friend, whoever I was walking with. And I go in that hiking thinking, this is going to be a great opportunity for us to talk about this. And the goal is to get to the summit or to the lake or to whoever destination is on the hiking. That's the goal.
Yes.
The purpose, the reason why I'm doing it is not to achieve the goal. Also, we're going to get to that destination. For me, the purpose could be having the conversation.
Okay, yeah.
While the other person, his goal and purpose could be the same. Get to that destination and for him, her is like enjoying the walk, enjoying the destination, having lunch at that place, or you sit down and and I couldn't just find a way to have the conversation. And as I'm walking back, I kind of started regretting doing the journey, the hike, whatever it was, because my purpose of the why I was doing that was not met. In life, those kind of adversities that are created many times in our minds because we create scenarios of the reason why we're doing things, and we don't come to the fulfillment of them, can create a lot of internal adversity, and that could create burnouts.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that because communication is a big topic and we don't express why we want to do things sometimes, especially when we are intimately connected as humans?
I think it's burnout can happen with those kind of things simply because purpose is a very emotional intent, and our emotions carry us as people, and when we fail to achieve or be honest or adhere to that purpose, it creates that lack of fulfillment, creates a doubt, and so it brings in this very negative energy to us that can definitely achieve to burnout, especially if we try multiple times and we can't get our purpose. Like if it's to have a conversation with somebody and I keep doing all these things to have a conversation, I keep failing to have a conversation, I'm just like, all right, I'm done. I'm not gonna have the conversation. I keep forgetting. I keep getting sidetracked, or I don't have the courage to do it. It's over. I can't do it. And it's that kind of just, we have to really, when we have a purpose, when we have a reason behind doing something, we have to do it. We have to stick to it, despite like what gets in the way. We have to really be headstrong with those kind of things.
Because we're talking about adversity, we're talking about adaptability, we're talking about burnouts. I think today, in our world, in the way we adapt to many things, there are things that are scary to do, right? And I'm just thinking about our clients and a lot of the things that we do when we talk to them and when we coach them. Difficult conversations.
Yes.
We tend to avoid difficult conversations. Are they important to have them? Do we need to have them, or we should keep avoiding them?
I think it's incredibly important to have the difficult ones. I remember reading something and it said, if you're not scared to do something, it's either not worth doing or you're stupid. You should do things that scare you, that challenge you. That's what puts in growth. And when you're scared, you know it's important. When you have the urge to avoid something like a conversation, it's that feeling of, ooh, I'm kind of scared to have this conversation. I'm very worried to have this conversation. What if? That's when you know it's important. It's incredibly important when you have those things telling you, because it knows the energy and it knows the feelings that are about to be brought up and felt during this conversation. And part of us wants to spare those intense emotions because we know how much energy it draws out. It can really drain us, but it's important to have. It's really important.
So we don't have them because we're protecting ourselves, because we don't want to hurt the other people, or because we don't want to go to the uncomfortableness. I don't know if that's a word, but I just made it in English. Probably everybody understood. The uncomfortableness of the emotion that goes into that, and we stop looking at the result of that difficult conversation. And many times we know that conversation is important and the result is going to be, so what's option A, what's option B, right?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we focus too much on the conversation and we forget about, again, I'm going to use the word again, about the purpose of the why we're having that conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And I see it with couples, I see it with family members, I see it with friendships, and I see it that it breaks more when we avoid the conversation than when we have the conversation.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, let's look at this example real quick, and let's say you have bad breath. Not that you do. Let's imagine you have bad breath, and I can smell it, and it really bothers me. Right? I have the option of having this conversation, right? And the immediate thought is, oh, you fix your breath, you don't have bad breath, and I don't have to smell it anymore. Pretty simple, right? Then we go into overthinking, which everyone typically does. It follows through really quick with the logical answer, overthinking. Oh, you're going to take offense to it. You're going to be mad at me. I'm making fun of you. You don't like me anymore. We don't hang out anymore. We're done. We're not friends anymore. Or you start insulting me, and now I'm hurt. It's this overthinking of, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? As opposed to the logical sense of, oh, my breath stinks. Let me fix my breath. Now you and no one else has to smell bad breath. And now we're all happy. And now I'm taking better care of myself, and you don't have to smell bad breath when we hang out. And it's that overthinking of...
And that will take us into probably another session when we talk about how to frame conversations, right?
Yes.
Because that many times is that these difficult conversations, we don't have, right now talking about awareness, we don't have the structure, the time, the thought, the process, where we go into this overthinking, but we go on the overthinking on the negative side. How many times we go on the overthinking on the positive side?
Very rarely, unfortunately.
Because both of them are overthinking.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But we like more the one that hurt us rather than the one that helped us.
Yep. I wish I knew some more answers on that one, of why we do that.
It's just very interesting. I really believe it has to do with resilience. I really believe it has to do with awareness. I really believe it has to do with the time that we take on a daily basis to stop and do a little bit of self-analyzing, self-assessment, understanding why our thoughts work the way they do. And I can say that by experience. I had many years where the way I was thinking and the way things were going was not on the pattern that they go today. And there's work to be done. And I think a lot of us need to do that work. And a lot of us need to understand the process. And there's so many tools available today. I think the tools have been available always. I think when I said they're more available today, I think we're more aware of understanding who we are. At least in our profession as coaches, we see people coming and wanting to learn, wanting to do things different. And I think everything starts there when somebody wants to really open to new possibilities in life.
Yes.
And to get to those new possibilities, we need to understand two things. Many times we react, and circling back or looping back into the article, many times we go back and start doing things because we are hit by something, some type of adversity. Adversities that come and they let you know they're here, kind of when COVID happened as the world, or when something happens in your house, a window crashes, and it's raining outside, and you have to react to that. right? That's an adversity that tells you like something happened, you need to react now, right? But some other times, there's some other ones, there's a little crack in the windows, a little air coming in, and you go like, you can put a little tape on it, right?
Yeah.
And we start putting little tapes. We don't fix the problems, we cover the problems, and those problems eventually become big. And when they are, I call them the silent adversity. It's like we're here in the office and all of a sudden there's smoke coming underneath the door. And we might not see it, we might not smell it, but then slowly but surely we're gonna go like, oh, it's foggy in here, when it may be too late,
Yes.
right? So we have as resources for resilience, understand our purpose, adaptability, confidence. Is confidence important? Believe in ourselves,
I think it's really important. Yeah.
right? Confidence and self-awareness. Burnout is real. Burnout happens,
Yes.
and we usually get burned out as the consequence of many things, not just one thing.
Yeah.
And the problem when there's those many things is that we don't know which one to pinpoint at the very beginning. And taking time to understand what created the burnout is important in everybody's life, right?
Yeah.
So we come down to the end of this episode of chapters, or not chapters, but theories behind the chapter. The name of the chapter was very easy, it was called Resilience. So
Yes.
of course we're talking about resilience, but we're talking about resilience with three components that are very important for everybody to understand. We cannot mix resilience with resistance.
No.
And we cannot mix resistance with endurance.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we look at endurance and we see like, oh, this is something I need to keep doing. The question is, are you enduring or you resisting? And there's a big difference in each one of them. While sometimes we need endurance, right? We just need to make sure that it's not resistance we're creating. Self-awareness,
Yes.
understand where we are. Purpose, confidence, adaptability,
All of them. All of them.
all of them. What else, Joseph? How can we close this podcast?
I think I'll just go back and rephrase to learn to enjoy the journey. So no matter where you end up, at least you had a good time.
Yeah. And everybody, as you listen to this podcast, you like it, share it. Most importantly, if you want to have a conversation with either one of us, don't doubt. Send us a message, send us a text, send us a note. We'll be happy to talk to you and to help you, guide you, and let it happen.
Yes.
Thank you.